shifting turn here, bungling the investigation into Stephen Port, who was, of course, the serial killer who murdered 4 men. The LGBT campaign group Pride in London has told uniformed coppers to stay away from its annual event. They say the mishandling of the case was, quote, homophobic. Now, it comes after human rights campaigner Peter Tatchell said the case showed institutional homophobia is alive and kicking in the Met Police. He said that if the force had conducted a proper investigation after the murder of Port's first victim, then the 3 other young gay men might still be alive. Now, Peter joins me now. We're going to listen to Peter a bit and bring the panel in, and then, don't worry, it gets a bit lighter after this. Yes, Peter, thank you very much for joining me. I seem to be speaking to you I talk to you more than my missus these days. Right, look, I think a lot of people would struggle to get their heads around the idea that uniformed police officers, the same police force that painted some of their cars in the rainbow flag, that had rainbow flagged helmets and this, that and the other, wouldn't be welcome at a Pride event.
Well, there are lots of good officers. They are welcome. But we'd like them to come in plain clothes because
Why?
the force as a whole has faced serious accusations and evidence of homophobia, racism and misogyny. And we think that while the individual officers are welcome in plain clothes, the police as an institution are not until they reform. When they reform, of course, we'll come back.
OK, well, can I make the case that Britain's most prolific rapist was a gay man who raped mostly straight men? And so, you know, would the police not be welcome now at a straight event? You know, was that straight-phobic?
Well, I don't think the comparison is a simple one like that at all. I don't think the comparison works. The point is, we want to have a good relation with the police. And sadly, on issues of race, gender and sexuality and gender identity, relations have failed on a number of occasions. And we need to get that right. So far, the lobbying and negotiations have not worked. So we're trying to use Pride as a leverage to help pressure the police to get their house in order. And I think that's entirely reasonable to do.
We're currently playing a bit of footage from, I think it was a Pride event either last year or the year before, of a police officer in uniform proposing to his boyfriend at a Pride event surrounded by other police officers in uniform. What more do you want, Pierre?
Well, that was in 2019,
right.
And we were very happy for that celebration to take place and for those 2 guys to...
But you'd ban that now, wouldn't you? There's 2 blokes there. I'm watching 2 blokes kiss. One of them's in uniform, and you're saying to me now that wouldn't be welcome at a Pride event.
Well, I think we have to take a stand against the police. You know, already the police, the Metropolitan Police, are under special measures. The Independent Inspectorate of Constabulary has said there are systemic failings in the Metropolitan Police. That's not me or the gay community saying it. It's the independent body that oversees the police. And if they're saying it, then clearly there is a problem. And we need to use leverage to get the police back on track. And we want them back on track. But I don't think we should just roll over and accept the police when they are failing not only our community, but they're failing all of London. I mean, most crimes are not being investigated. The report said that nearly 70,000 crimes were not recorded by the Metropolitan Police.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a failing of all Londoners, not just gay ones.